a lot of burgers here. Wow. Look at all those. And they all kind of come with the same feeling, the same bun, they hold the same, but this isn't just some burger. This is the only patty melt you'll ever need.
Ah, bonjour. The new year is here. Ulysses, you're... Look at the single one on his head. Oh, wow! So with the new year comes a lot of new things. My book is new, and also a lot of people like to cook, want to start eating healthier, whatever you want to do in the new year, this is gonna help you. Wow, it was all a plug all along. The link is in the description. God dang, 9 times New York Times bestseller, thanks to you. If you don't have it yet, what the f are you doing? I missed all of that.
So we're making the Whataburger patty melt. The patty melt is the one item from Whataburger that I will eat and not actually hate. It's nice, you got these big thick pieces of Texas toast, a ton of melted cheese burger. The fact that you hold it sort of like a deli sandwich as opposed to like a burger that's round, it just eats super differently, which they say the texture doesn't change flavor. Brother, it can. I can't continue without pointing out that I do still think Whataburger is slightly overrated. It is what it is. But to me, a patty melt should be so good that it beckons the thought of it every single day after eating it for a full month, and this is gonna do that. So with all that being said, let's make this, shall we?
Wow, we're at Whataburger, so good! I've never once in my entire life gone to this place, eaten a burger and went, huh, what a burger! Nobody says that. I do like their branding. It's very quaint. It's cute. As we all know, this is But Better. We are back at the 3-point system. First, the building itself. Out of all the fast food places, I would say Whataburger does pay good attention with their design, and it's very brand consistent, so I'll give it a 69 out of 115. That's pretty good. That's high praise. Next part of the 3-point system is the menu. The menu is better than most fast food menus, only because they have a couple of Texas-y things. I'll give it a 5.932 out of 9.8. Again, high praise. One of our highest praised restaurants so far.
How can I help you?
Can I just do 2 Whataburger patty melts, just the sandwich?
Okay.
Awesome, perfect.
1427 at the second window. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
They're kind of killing it right now because she was very nice and I felt very attended to. Service is gonna get a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Whataburger, you're doing pretty good right now. Thank you so much, appreciate it. So the service was a bit slow, it's fine. They're rushing like crazy, but they're not that busy. I guess it's just those never been frozen beef. Let's baka our way back home and see how Whataburger fares. So we've got the bag. First off, design, very nice, I like it. This looks like a school lunch. This looks nothing like the photo. You want that? Smell-wise, this is one of the better things I've smelled on this channel. I know a lot of people are like, Josh, you're so mean. There's no way it smells like farts. When I say it smells like farts, it smells like farts. I know a fart when I smell it. Despite how much sauce is actually on here, I cannot taste it. And there's no salt at all, like almost none. All things considered, do I hate this burger? No. It's actually one of the better burgers we've had on this channel, but it's also extraordinarily boring considering what it could be. So let's take it there, shall we?
Right, no buns. That's hip. You know what, respectable and not a problem. But if we're using Texas toast instead of buns, are we gonna use pre-sliced bread? If you want a basic ass sandwich, then yeah. But if you want full control of your life and slice thickness and maximize customizable flavor, then you make it yourself. It's really easy. First, snag yourself 1 1/4 cup or 290 milliliters of water around 95 degrees Fahrenheit and mix in 1 tablespoon or 12 grams of bread machine yeast. We're using that yeast specifically instead of instant because bread machine yeast usually has conditioners in it, which work better for this type of bread. In a separate bowl containing 4 cups or 600 grams of all-purpose flour, add in 3 tablespoons or 47 grams of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons or 12 grams of fine sea salt, and 1 teaspoon or 3 grams of amylase. Wow, time for a funny little man lesson. Amylase is a naturally occurring enzyme that catalyzes hydrolysis of starch. Confused? Let me make this simple. This is optional, but it helps soften the bread even further, borderline to commercialized softness, and you can get it online. Link in the description. Anyway, whisk that together until combined, add in 1 whole egg to your yeast juice. Whisk till combined, then pour that into the bowl of a stand mixer, fit that with the spiral attachment, begin mixing on medium-low speed, and add your flour mixture 1/4 cup at a time until all of your flour has been added. Let that mix for 2 to 3 minutes or until you get a slightly smooth dough. Then add 1/4 cup or 56 grams of unsalted softened butter. Please stop trying to use cold butter, all right? You will regret it, and then you're gonna complain to me, and then I'm gonna be like, oh my God, I literally told you not to do that. Why are you doing that? Now let that mix for about 5 minutes on medium speed until all the butter is added and incorporated, and you should have a smooth, beautiful dough. Shape that into a light ball, place into a grease bowl, cover with plastic wrap, make it respectable, of course, and let it rise at room temp for 1 to 1.5 hours or till doubled and chunky. Now punch your dough down till all of the yeast is released. Gently turn it on to a lightly floured work surface and roll into a rectangle that's the same length wide as the bread pan you're using. Ah, right. Speaking of bread pan, you need one that's sized for 1.5 to 2 pound loaf. You go too small and well, I think you could do the math there. Anyway, once that's rolled out, and it's about a 1/2 inch thick, starting from the bottom closest to you, roll that bad boy all the way up, nice and tight. Seal the bottom and pop it into a bread pan that's been greased. Lightly tent it with greased plastic wrap and let it rise for about 45 minutes at room temp. By the way, this would be a great time to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You're welcome, all right? No need to thank me there. Now, once it's risen and about 3/4 of an inch above the top of the pan, wow, look at our little man. Mwah. Gently peel off the plastic wrap, lightly spritz your loaf with water using a spray bottle, and pop it into your preheated oven for 30 to 40 minutes or until you pull out a beautiful golden brown, rotund loaf of bread. I mean, look at this stunning big boy. Pop it out of your pan gently and let it cool in a wire rack on its side. We do this because it makes the little man look funny, haha, and to keep the top nice and smooth and rounded. If you let it cool the other way, then it kind of gets a little crinkly and weird and blah, blah, blah. Cool to room temp, and that is your bread. Look, I'll admit this loaf ended up a tad taller than I wanted it to, which visually looks dope, but functionality wise for this, it was a bit difficult. So I'd recommend picking a loaf pan that's a little wider rather than taller. But hey, we're working with ground beef, so you could always form it to whatever you want. Right, so while that's cooling, let's make our creamy pepper sauce. This sauce is a decent volume of ingredients, so in a medium-sized bowl, add 1 1/4 cup or 200 grams of mayonnaise, 1 teaspoon or 2 grams of sweet paprika, 1 teaspoon or 3 grams of ground white pepper, a mixture of 1 tablespoon or 4 grams of black peppercorns, and 1/2 teaspoon or 1/2 gram of green peppercorn, which have been ground coarse. Add that in, followed by 3 cloves of garlic grated, 1/2 cup or 110 grams of ketchup, 1 tablespoon or 12 grams of, please, prepare the trumpets, Worcestershire sauce. Pretty good pronunciation there for me. Salt to taste, and albeit optional, and look, we rarely do this here, add 1/2 ounce or 14 grams of fresh grated black winter truffle. I know I'm gonna get trashed. You can't do that. That's too much of a flex. It's making it too... Shut up. I promise if you removed this ingredient, it would still be better. Now mix that together to incorporate, and finally, add 1/3 cup or 25 grams of grated Parmigiano reggiano. All right, that's the last ingredient, I swear. Now mix that together until thoroughly combined, and let me tell you something. This is probably one of the best burger sauces we've ever released, period. I don't care if you're, oh Josh, that has so many ingredients, you use truffle, and hush, hush your little mouth. This sauce is special. Right, so we're almost ready. Instead of grilling our onions, I decided to shoestring fry them. We've done enough griddled onions for burgers here. But if you do really want it to be griddled, then you can use the one from my In-N-Out video. Anyway, snag yourself 1 yellow onion and slice it into 1/4 inch thick rings on a mandolin. Place them in a bowl and cover them with 1 cup or 216 grams of buttermilk. Season that mixture with salt. Then fill a separate bowl with 1 cup or 150 grams of all-purpose flour. Then take a handful of buttermilk-soaked onions, drain the excess, and then add them to the flour and toss until completely coated. No bald spots. Then place them on a baking sheet while you coat the rest. Now, once all of your onions have been dredged, heat a pot of oil that's at least 1.5 inches deep to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Gently lay in your onion in batches, frying for about 1 to 2 minutes or until they are a beautiful dark golden. Remove them from the oil with a spider and drain them on a wire rack and season immediately with salt while they're hot. A, so the salt sticks, and B, so you can receive a kiss from Papa. And good. Oh! Look at these. You know, you could totally just dip these in the sauce if you're feeling a little naughty. All right, it's time. Slice your bread a little over 1/2 inch thick. Toast it in butter on both sides till the surface is beautifully bronzed like a perfect sunset. Cut a clove of garlic in half and rub the cut ends on both sides of your toasted bread to perfume with a garlicky kick. Next, you'll need 3 pounds or 900 grams of ground beef, and make sure this beef is high fat. 80% lean is too lean for this. Anything below that is gonna be better. Now form this into 1/3 pound or 150 gram balls, which all in all will get you enough for 4 patty melts total. Now get yourself a cast iron skillet set over medium-high heat until it's as hot as the Large Hadron Collider. Maybe that's a little too hot. You get the point. Give it a light spray with nonstick cooking spray, add in a ball, and immediately press with a spatula or a burger press like this. Season to taste with salt and pepper. Let that sear for 1 to 2 minutes or until beautifully browned. Flip and season the other side with salt and pepper and sear for another 1 minute. Then add 1 slice of Monterey Jack cheese, let it melt or force it to melt because you don't want to wait. Place it to the side and repeat with all of your patties. I will say that I prefer to melt the bottom patty patty's cheese after I lay down the sandwich, just so the cheese is ultra bubbly and hot, but that's optional. Anyway, now, the moment of truth, assembly time. Texas toast on the board. Generously sauce with your pepper mayo. First patty down, followed by Monterey Jack, melt that bad boy. Next patty, which already has cheese on it, sauce your other toast generously. And finally, but most importantly, give it a fat stack of your luxurious fried onions. Grab that other toasty boy, give it a little chef's kiss, call somebody you love and tell them about this sandwich, and crown your magnificent king. And that is our patty melt. And you know what? Out of all the patty melts that I've ever seen and eaten, something just looks so righteous about this one. You give it one good look and say, yeah, you know what? All is okay in the world in this moment. Now let's taste test these and see who the real winner is. And you know what? Whataburger also DM'd me and said to not do it to them, but you know, here we are. So sorry about that.
Wow, we've arrived. We didn't really get to not one green in this at all. All meat and beef. Buongiorno. Oh! I'm not saying it's unfair that we have the onion rings, but it doesn't matter because this sandwich is astronomically better. Everything in here is exactly what I want. The bread is actually good. It's soft. It's almost like a nice brioche. The beef, perfectly cooked. It's juicy. It's salted beautifully. But we need someone to make the final determination. So we'll have our friend Yuma joining us today. Ready, CD?
Yes.
Sorry. Are you ready? I'm gonna need to go a little bit away, honey. Ooh. Whoa. So that's number one. Number two. Da, 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 da. Oh my God, your tongue's vibrating.
Dry. Number one, very rich, juicy, and this one just tastes like an old sandwich.
Look, man, if you're hitting a piece of bread and it makes that noise, you've already lost. So long story short, we won. The patty melt has been done did. You decide if you want to make it or not, or if you're gonna go through the drive-thru and enjoy your cafeteria.
You want to know what else has meat covered in Papa's creamy yum yum truffle sauce? B-roll.
Alright guys, and that is it. So we've made our patty melt. It was fat, it was tall, it was beautifully built, oozing cheese. Are you tired of having the same style of burger? Well, enter the patty melt. Welcome to heaven, brother. The main thing that we learned today is that a patty melt could be much better. So with all that being said, if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.